Welcome back, everyone, on the Decoders channel. I hope you will enjoy your views farming. But yeah, welcome to the second live of the day. And today we are experimenting a new format for the video where, like, the Decoders, community members, and future holders will, chit chat with us. And I want to, know all of you and your story, your background, and stuff like that. And after a couple of DMs talking about DeFi, Sujiko project, and NFT perps and stuff, Reaper and I, we had a nice conversation about it, and we decided, with Jas, we decided like to have him as the first community members, and that's what we're gonna do for the next hour. It's gonna be nice. But before that, Jas, how are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. As always, just
Yeah.
living life, being blessed, and just
Yes.
happy to be here with everybody.
Let's go. And yeah, thank you so much for the moderation during the streams. Checking if everyone is respectful in the chat and on Discord.
Yes, it's all about respect.
Exactly, respect.
It's never about power. It's all about respect.
Yeah, I saw the thread about you on the timeline. That's fun.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's all about respect. There's nothing to do with power. It's not ever a power trip with me. It's all about respect, being respectful.
Exactly. And our VIP guest is Reaper, Mr. Rob on YouTube. Bro, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Very happy. Was up trading last night. Traded only Solana last night. I was trading perp contracts, and I'm up. I was up 4,500%. So I 45x'd in about 12 hours, and I am fucking ecstatic. Had a very good night.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was on 100x leverage. Something I've done, margin trading, leverage trading for a while. I hit 5 really good licks, and very, very fucking happy to be here, and very happy after last night.
Bro, we need to talk.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've been trading since I was basically 11. So not in that form, but
and you're not 12
trading. Yeah, and
you're not 12.
It's been about almost 30 years. So actually in about probably 8 days, it'll be 30 years exactly, because I started on my birthday. So
okay, that's cool. Okay, so we have so much to unpack just with a couple of sentences. And I'm happy that you're first community members. And please stay in the community, because we need guys like you to be the fundamentals of the holders.
Absolutely. Jazz told me I had to get my ass in here, and that's exactly what I did. So
always listen to Jazz.
Yes.
That's
smart man.
To an extent.
Yeah.
There's a disclaimer there. Don't always listen to me. But
for
usually I have my head on straight.
Yeah. And so GM again to Carlos, Joey, Mitchell, and King again. Like, that's the top G's of the chat on YouTube. Let's go. Okay, so Reaper, can you give us like a little background of yours? Explain, 30 years of trading, that's TradeFi experience. That's pretty useful in crypto. But can you tell us why you came into crypto and when did you start your journey?
Well, I mean, I really got into crypto probably 2016, 17.
Nice.
And it was more based on that trading aspect. So it was surrounded by being able to leverage and trade assets that have volume and volatility.
Okay.
Like I said, I came from a very deep investment background. By the time I was 13, 14, I actually started day trading, was skipping school to day trade. And then my parents decided that it might be best to try to homeschool me a little bit, because I was getting around it every which way possible. They would drop me off. I would walk in the front door and walk out the back door and go to the public library and trade stocks all day. as I developed more, I started margin trading, currency trading, forex trading, credit swaps. I actually bought my first piece of real estate when I was 16. I forged my birth certificate so they would think I was 18. And my dad was like, "Why didn't you just come to me? I would have helped you out with this." But it causes a little bit of issues. But eventually, I got the property, and I've been doing that pretty much ever since. Got into crypto, and like I said, really, it was because of it was to me, it was something that was open 24/7. So with forex and the stock market, it's only open 5 days a week. Volatility only occurs during certain times, so you're limited on when and how you can trade. So with crypto, when I first got into it, it was more of, okay, I'm going to invest because I believe in certain aspects of it. But then it was also very much more, okay, I'm going to dive down the rabbit hole and figure out how I can use this leverage and margin 24/7. So that was really my um, entrance into crypto.
Nice. Okay. And
It's
how was the TradFi market like 30 years ago?
It was very archaic. It was a lot of people basically traded off of phone calls. You were calling into brokers and everything. Then as the internet came around and brokers, you started to be able to do this online. I still went through my broker, my clearing houses, just because I'd already developed that relationship with them, and I knew I was doing sizable trading at that point, and I wanted to be executed immediately. I didn't want to have to wait through going through clearing houses and back end and technical issues as they were building this up. Um, but it's developed now to where it's a lot of it is algorithmic trading. Your big investors, your big banks, your big groups. I've been a part of several groups in the past. Still am to a certain extent, and we bounce ideas off of each other and everything. But then we're also funding trades together, so it's very much we see opportunities, we capitalize on those opportunities, and we move very quick and very fast to get the position that we want, i.e. Solana dumping below 10. I knew it was coming. I had limit orders set at multiple exchanges. That way I knew I got hit. I was out scaling out from 26 to 31. So, because I knew it was going to come back. And it's the power of compounding. If I can 3x, 5x, 10x today, take half of that off the table, and then I'm waiting as I'm trading, I'm building up additional investment bags that I can deploy when I see the time is right.
That's awesome, bro. Okay. Are we talking about like a multi-million portfolio?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Okay. It's been over 30 years. I've lost it 3 times.
Okay.
I've went to zero 3 times due to not over aggressiveness, but just due to life situations and things and health situations, what I've been dealing with for the past 18 months. I haven't lost it this time, but that was earlier. The last one happened when I was probably about 24. I went over aggressive on individual business investments and taught myself a very valuable lesson. Hold on to the people that you can trust.
Yeah. That's a tricky part, right?
And they're very few and far between.
Yeah. But I mean, it's how do you come back from that, like mentally? Like, how did you process that, the fact that you went to a couple of lifetime incomes to nothing multiple times during this time around? Like, is that getting harder, like easier after a couple of time, or is that always a shit show?
To me personally, as an individual, it really, I knew I had been there before, so I could get there again.
Yeah.
I mean, I took $500 and turned it into multiple millions within a very short period of time.
Fuck's sake.
Within probably, I would say, 9 months to 12 months. And I was being underly aggressive because that's all the money I had. At that point, I was getting medically retired from the military. I'd had so much medical issues that basically they were saying, we can't. You're no longer service to us. So thank you for your 12 years. Now get the hell out. And I was hospital ridden for almost 2 years, and that's all I had. So I was cautious. I was, I came back from it, and that was the last time.
That's really impressive, man. Congratulations. So yeah, like a question from Carlos. I have so many questions to ask and learn regarding crypto trading. So if you would have to do it all over again today, like what would you do to learn from scratch how to trade?
It's very easy. Number one, find a good group of traders and ignore pretty much 99% of the stuff that you see on YouTube that is, it's this indicator, that indicator, whatever. As far as this one's going to take you from $1,000 to $50,000 in 3 hours. And learn to not fall in love with your asset. For example, I see too many people trading Solana that are Solana maxis. That is your long-term vision. That has nothing to do with what the market is doing right now. Learn to be negative on the asset that you love for the short term or the midterm, but you can still have that long-term vision. There are 3 different, you have your short term, your midterm, and your long term. All 3 of them can be different, and that's okay. That doesn't make you less convicted in the product or asset. It just makes it makes you think more clearly. And that's one thing you see what ETH people did, Solana people. I mean, even stock market people. It's not relegated to crypto. I mean, real estate. I love this area. I love this product. I love whatever. And you continually buy it on the way down as a trade. That's not what you do in trading. You're buying it on the way down as a long-term investment. But everybody sells at the bottom and buys at the top because their brain is backwards. They can't correlate short-term versus long-term trading. So that's the one thing that I would say. If you love the asset, find a similar asset in that class that you have no attachment to and trade that. If you can't make that correlation.
That's cool. Okay, that makes sense. Like, I think for me, trading is like really a mindset game because you can read like 2 books about like how to read a chart, and then like you will be skilled enough to read the chart, but then like pressing the buy button and sell button at the right time, that's even like the easy part of the job. But like, like having a plan and sticking to the plan, and stick to the plan, it's even like hard. That's the most complex and hard things to do in trading, just to follow the plan.
And just following your own rules. You get 90% of the people, even in NFTs, you see it. They don't follow their own rules. If you don't believe in a project, you bought in at 20 and the project went to 30 and you didn't sell and now it's at 5, what the fuck are you doing? Either you believe in it long term or you don't. Stop bitching about it. You're the one that made the damn decision. Either have conviction long term and help build that project or get the fuck out of the way. Like I'm a very open book and direct person. So it might not offend, but it might rattle some people in this space, but it's very true. It's, if that's the community you want to be a part of, or that's the project you want to be a part of, have that long-term vision or get the hell out of their community and get the hell out of the way. It's that simple.
Yeah, and like King Kong, you're right. Like, need to make a Decoders Alpha trading channel led by Reaper. You can start by follow Reaper. Like, I pin like his Twitter account, bro. You have like 11 followers. We need to pump that up, bro.
Dude, that is one thing. Like, as far as like Twitter, and Jazz knows this. I see him laughing. I'm very I'm not inclusive, but I'm very with stuff like that, it's just never, I guess, been an aspiration or wasn't an aspiration.
Mm.
But now I've had a lot of these people coming to me like, hey, a couple guys, I don't know if you remember Dronies, the NFT about 18 to 24 months ago on Solana. A couple of those guys were like, hey, you need to do your own trading stuff. You need to do this. And I've trained traders. I've
Yeah.
trained 10,000 people plus how to trade. Um, a lot of them have retired from their jobs. They're not doing it. They're all they do is trade like 20 hours a week, and
Mm.
that's all they do. So, and then they go do what they want. But it's it's something that I need to focus on that. For decoders, I need to focus on that. We'll put it that way. Maybe that'll get me motivated to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if like an alpha channel for like NFTs would be the way
Yeah.
I'd want to go with the coders, but I would be interested in maybe having a trade channel where people like myself, Reaper, and people that trade on a professional level and who've made
Yeah.
good money on a living were in there, like an alpha chat where we were talking about like trades and entries and exits, and of course everything would be do your own research. But
Yeah.
that I'd be interested in something like that, sharing that with the decoders community once we have holders for sure.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see everybody win, because that's always been my mentality. I came into NFTs when we were, all going to make it, and before all the toxicity really hit, over the last year. But I will
Okay.
touch base on what you guys were talking about before you guys carry on. I will say discipline is a big part of trading. If you want to do it professionally, you want to make money doing it. Just like what they were touching on, if you don't have the discipline to follow the rules you set when you enter, you're not going to make it because you really need to follow that discipline. That's how I survived through last year's bull market. Was I set up exits for all my crypto when to take it, no matter what the price points were. I had exits, and I used the different percentages and different charting to get those exits. But once they hit, I took that percentage out. I didn't look back, and I didn't care how much higher it went because I had a set plan and I made really good money by sticking to that plan. So that discipline is super important in any kind of trading.
Like, did you remember just when we were talking about my DGOT exit plan?
You're talking about before FTX or?
Yes, before it at 600 souls stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about all of our exit plans, with the DGODs and all the other NFTs we held. I mean, I exited most of my NFTs just because I've been waiting for a bear market. I'm a crypto trader. I only got in NFTs because I was bored. Bear market, the bull market was over, and what was I going to do with my time? So I got in NFTs, waiting for this bear market again. So as soon as this bear market came back, I jumped. You saw me exit stage left. Vince is like, he's selling everything. I wasn't but they were all for profits. I sold all for profits, and I put it all back in the crypto. So I'm just setting myself up for the next bull run.
Yeah. And okay, so I saw a question of that too. Like, shit, was it the bear market? Like, what's the strategy between like bear market? Okay, how do you manage your trades during the bull and bear markets? What do you do?
I go both directions. I mean, I go both directions daily. So, like for example, my first trade last night was at 2:05 in the morning, my time. I was trading basically London pre-open. And then I think my last trade was like around 11:30 this morning. So in that, I think I had two longs and three shorts, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm more short-term bearish right now. I still think the market's coming down a little bit more, in my opinion. And I'm taking the volatility pushes that are created from the different trading sessions, meaning, London, Asian, New York. When I see certain things occur and when my indicators start flashing, my pre-indicators start flashing, then I'm looking at, okay, I'm getting in regardless. So I really don't have, like, I'm long term bullish on the market. I don't think the bottom is in yet. As far as for the entire market. One thing that I'm looking at really I've been setting up on is gaming. I'm not a gamer. However, I think the gaming side of crypto is going to be what pushes NFTs, is going to be what pushes the market over on things. So I've been picking up a lot of micro cap and mid cap gaming cryptos over the past 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
And I'm looking at holding them for like probably 2 to 5 years is my guess. Is about where I'm looking at. So I think a lot of them are that are hedged into Korea, Japan, China. That's going to be the ones that I'm looking at the heaviest because that's where I feel like
Yeah.
it's going to come out of. So, that's what I'm doing with a small, well, not small, but that's what I'm doing with a stack. We'll put it that way. So
Mhm.
I'm basically trying to liquidate certain exchanges to get all I can at this point because you're starting to see some noise on gaming crypto right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, like a small stack of $10 billion on gaming for 5 years. Let's go. That's what's up.
Yep, that's that. I'm looking at some of these that are like that were like 3/4 of a penny, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, can I get a trillion of them? Like, let's see, how can I liquidate a market with doing it? And
Yeah.
that's the other thing you have to be careful with on those exchanges is it's
Yeah.
like I
Liquidity.
can, well, I can do something and I can make it a preemptive move
Mhm.
and cause a disruption, and that's not what I'm trying to do. Especially, I know there's probably 12 to 15 other professional traders that have well deeper pockets than I do that are doing the same thing. So we're sort of trying to correlate it together to where it doesn't create a disruption in the force and we end up
Mhm.
delaying things or it gets false pumps. We're not wanting that. We're looking to invest in it long term. So,
Okay, so those group chat does exist.
oh, 100%. They've existed since the 70s. Like out of
Yeah.
Canada, like I know 2 traders out of Canada that were like the term market mover
Market
is
maker, yes, yeah.
market mover, market maker is not like those guys are the pawns in this whole thing.
Mm.
The money's being driven from other areas. And I knew 2 guys out of Canada when they thought I was in my 40s at the time. I was 14. So, and I had access to them. So I was like, hey, what are we doing today? What do y'all want me to
Mm.
trade today? And it was very much, I mean, these guys were trading, 30 million, 50 million a day.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, a
That's
day.
cool.
And it's like they made the market. Like they would
Yeah.
go in, they knew exactly what they were doing. They had people flying into Chicago, New York, over into China, Japan, and they were actually making the fucking market. So it was crazy.
Do you still have the numbers? Because we will need those kind of guys for the
One
decoders secondary, bro.
one died and one is still doing it part time. One is actually, I think he is over in Norway right now.
Okay, so you just telegram them, then we talk. I can
Yep.
give them whitelist if they want. Let's
They're
move 30
legit.
million. Yeah, let's move 30 million through the decoders collection. We need volume.
Heavy volume.
Let's
Hey, I
go.
mean, we can always just, pull a me and just, you know, pretty much control all the bots to, make
Yeah.
fake volume to make our investors happy. We can always do that.
Well, I told you, Jazz, in a conversation we had about 9 months ago that I was waiting for certain projects that I had a conviction and belief in that combined that Web 2 and Web 3 uh, correlation and became that symbiotic relationship. And this is one. When you told me to get in there, I'm
Yeah.
blessed for it. So
Yeah, you started
it,
talking like that, and I was like, well, that's kind of what we're doing at Decoders.
yeah, I'm like what?
Yeah,
Where
that's
the
cool.
because well, it's Vince and I talked about it. It's like everybody's doing the same shit.
Mm.
Yep.
Like, am I the only one going to say this? Like, and I'll say it on YouTube. I don't give a damn. Like, everybody's doing the same fucking shit. Like, they can't even change the process of what they're doing. Like, we talked about this, Vince. Like yesterday, we talked
Yeah.
about. I'm like, well, why? Like, you can at least make it look different, even though it's the same shit. But you can't even do that. Like, and that's why I'm looking at decoders. I'm looking at gambles. I think gambles has a deep rooted. I can see that vision along with Soul Casino.
Mhm.
You know, Blocksmith has me intrigued and has for a while. So that's something I'm sort of pondering about, and then I'm waiting to see what these new dexes or perpetual people do, like what they're trying to accomplish here.
Let's talk about that. I'm just going to just check. Okay, so yes, like quickly before we go to the NFT perp stuff. I always wonder when people tell their stories, don't you pull some don't touch money to the side to just have a save a nasty what's the nested eggs basket? Whatever.
Nest egg.
A nest egg.
Nest egg. Yes.
I love that, a nested egg basket.
Nested egg basket. You've been speaking for a joke, bro.
Yeah.
So that you just all in all the time.
Well, no, I'm not all in. Like I said, my trading provides me my investment vehicle and thesis over a 30 to 50 year period. So my trading is going into a different fund. And that's where I said I'm waiting on things that happen. Like I knew Solana was going to come under 10. How far I had it pegged all the way down to 5. That if it went down to 5, it was doubling every time it went 50 cents. So if I was buying 100,000 worth at 10, I'm buying 200,000 worth at 950. I'm buying 300, I'm buying 400,000 worth at 9. And so that's what I do. It's like I'm doubling, whether it's 1,000, 10,000, because that's going to give me the best basis of where it comes from.
It makes sense. Like again, like even if the price is going down to shit, it still knows in terms of like if you have your investment thesis that you can still follow. But okay, when is that too late, and when your investment thesis get invalidated in that case?
Generally, with long term, I have points, but I'm very good. I can't. Nobody can call the bottom. Okay, nobody can call the bottom, and nobody can call the top. But if you can get within fucking 5 to 10% of the bottom and top, and do it consistently over 85 to 90% of the time, you will be a millionaire in 10 years. I don't give a fuck what, as long as you start out with at least $1,000. You continually do that over 10 to 15 years, it is going to substantially grow. And that's where I don't really. The last time I got torched was probably 9 years ago. So that was the last time I took a loss on a long-term investment.
Financial crisis, like the real estate one?
No, it was actually I decided I was going to do another investment thing with a friend, and that's where that shit went fucking south real quick.
Usually does.
Yeah. So no, now I'll tell you, 0809 in the US.
Yeah.
I was short that entire market.
Fuck's sake.
And then let me tell you, I bought Ford Motor Company. My average cost on that was $2 a share.
What? Okay.
Like literally, it came to like 160 range, 170, I think, and then jumped immediately back up to $13 within like fucking 9 months. So I shorted it all the way down and then bought within 10% of the bottom and then sold it again 9 months later. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Now I'll wait for the next, the virus. Everybody was running scared.
Yeah.
I was buying my ass off.
Bro, you're gonna be my best friend forever.
Yeah.
You know that?
I bought a lot of crypto in 2020, in the very beginning of 2020. That bull run was so nice for me last year. Bull run.
I was buying everything. I was buying Apple stock. I was buying energy stocks. That's my favorite, is like energy commodities, things like that, things that people use.
Yeah.
Again, go back to the Web 2 versus Web 3 thing. When somebody hits on Web 2 and having that symbiotic relationship with Web 3, it's going to be massive. It's going to be huge because nobody does it. Web 3 people tend to solicit other Web 3 people, or they're only individualizing one creator on one stream or one platform or whatever, and they're getting their community to go help that one person.
Yeah.
But like with decoders, it's backwards. It's the other way around. Like everybody's benefiting from the Web 2 platform, not one person. And that's going to be, it's the same thing with gambles. Everybody's going to benefit from that. It's a casino. People gamble.
Yeah.
It's, that's where you're going to get, when you get that symbiotic relationship between a Web 2 platform and a Web 3 community, that's what's going to fucking advance everything.
Amen, bro. Amen. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Okay. We can, bro. I love this show already. It's so nice. Okay. It's so cool. I love it. Let's continue. How did you find your group of trustworthy investors to cooperate with? Okay, Mitchell, simpler sentences, please.
You would think you would know.
Now I'm fucking scrolling back up trying to find this shit. I'm like, what?
It's like, guys, when you guys ask questions in the chat, I would appreciate if you could find the hardest things for a guy with a French accent to pronounce. I would get great enjoyment out of that if you take the time to figure out the words that would just really hang him up.
Like Evan V, like she's saying, Vincent, like English is getting worse day after day, so that's promising. Can't wait to have like 100K subscribers, man.
You're like, why do you guys even watch it? We can't even pronounce shit. It's the enjoyment in watching him pronounce it that makes the show.
Exactly, that's content. Okay, yes. So Reaper, how do you find your friends?
How do I find my friends?
Your trading friends.
Your trading friends. I was blessed again when I was very young. My grandfather took me and introduced me to a broker. That broker had a lot of friends in New York and Chicago. And so I fell into that when I worked for the government, higher ranking military directors of government. They put me in contact with just the right people with the right philosophy and the right investment thesis. And it just very much, it just snowballed. And then it sort of came to people coming to me to try to figure out when to trade and what to do and how they wanted to be, because there's different types of traders. So that's the one thing I always tell people: figure out what type of trader you want to be.
Yeah.
Once you do that, 90% of the problem is solved, because then you can have a set of rules based on what you just told me on how to do it. And that's what they taught me. It's not lines on a chart. It's not gut feelings. It's not all this other stuff. It's find out what type of trader you want to be and what type of investor you want to be. Once you do that, then you find a person that does that and help them or get them to help you set your rules. For example, I had a guy in Europe, trained him probably about 2 years ago, 18 months ago, right before I had some medical issues. And literally, he told me exactly. He's like, he wants high volatility. He wants to day trade. He can trade 6 hours a day. It's got to be broken up a little bit. The guy retired in 6 months. All he does is trade gold. That's all he does is trade gold. Like, that's the only asset he trades. But he's deadly, because he told me, he's like, I need volatility and I need movement to keep me engaged.
On gold.
And oh my gosh, well, you're talking on gold, you're at 500x leverage.
Okay.
So the point, you don't need a big movement to either make it or get fucked. So it's 500x is the standard on gold, 200x to 500x. Yeah. So, and that's most forex pairs. That's where it sits. But yeah, in 4 months he became a successful trader. By 6 months, he's bringing home 6 figures a week, just trading gold.
Okay. So
it's crazy.
Mitchell, don't go all in on gold tomorrow, because you don't know shit. No. So don't.
You don't
do
know
that.
Tax.
So, yeah. So don't.
Probably can't even. Most people can't even find the ticker for gold on a forex chart. Like, to be honest with you,
this shit is done by professional. Don't try it at home.
It's funny how you said, you got to develop what kind of trader you are. Whereas, like, I'm very successful at trading, but I can't even touch what you do, Reaper, with shorts and just being in like just different markets the way you are. I'm a long term investor. I DCA in the crypto. I play the cycles. When I was a stock trader, I was long term. I invested into companies that I thought had a good future in 3 to 5 years. I made a lot of money on technology, buying in early on companies back in the early 2000s that didn't make me money till the 2010s. You know what I mean? I had to wait 5, 6, 7 years on my investment, but I'm a patient investor and I only invest in money, of course, that I could put aside. And that was money that I made elsewhere. That was very easy money, or what you could say is free money, money you could gamble. I say the same thing with gamble, and same thing I say about investing. If you can't throw the money out the window and not care about it, you shouldn't be investing it. You shouldn't be gambling it.
Yeah.
You got to have that free will to not care about the money you're investing, in a sense. But if you get very good at trading, then of course you can make a career out of it and do something like you've been doing your whole life, where if you make $500 and you got to pay the rent tomorrow for $500, damn well there's a 90% chance with your trading skill that you could take it to the market and quadruple it, just based off of your knowledge of the market and just knowing how to play the market and play that thing. But that's not me, you know what I mean? So it's awesome to see that, because we're two different traders. But we both can be very successful at it. Just that one involves a lot more patience, whereas yours is a lot more nit gritty and sweating some days.
Oh yeah.
But I'm more patient. I invest my money and I let it work for me. I love when my money works for me. And don't get me wrong, getting in crypto was definitely a big change for me coming from traditional stocks. But as soon as I saw that I could trade 24 hours a day, I was hooked.
Well, and the big thing is what I always tell people: whether you're an investor that's looking out 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, whatever, learn to trade,
Yeah.
but do it in a sensible manner where if your total investment account is $5,000 and you can throw $50 at trading this week, throw $50 at trading that you can afford to lose. Because I guarantee you, if you get on there and start day trading, you're going to learn more about market psychology that will help you in your long-term investments. And that $50 is going to be worth it even if you lose it, because you're going to see the psychological barriers that you have as an individual with trading, and it's going to make you think different about your long-term thesis with investments.
Yeah, it's like the cost of learning.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could probably day trade. I think I have the knowledge to day trade, but it's not a fitting for me. Like it's just not how I look at investment. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I can't do it because my brain doesn't let me.
Yeah,
Like I can't switch to a day chart or a minute chart. I have to look at a weekly chart when I look at charts, because I'm always looking long term, and I have my signals that are based off of long term investment strategies. So like for me to get into short term investments, I would have to retrain myself to be a short-term investor, play shorts, play longs. Like I stay away from shorts and longs because I just watch them get destroyed all day long when I watch the market.
Short it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to watch it, especially in crypto. I mean, the crypto is so manipulated. If you don't pay attention to those market makers and that big money that's pushing the market, they just liquidate. They wait till there's so much loaded up on shorts and they liquidate them. They do it, and they do it like nonstop. I used to watch it, in the bull market. You would see it going close, coming out of the bull market. They were doing it every weekend. You would just see the people load up, get into longs, and they would just by Monday morning, they were all liquidated.
Hey, baby, let me tell you something. 10 p.m. Eastern, Sunday night, we would all be sitting in a fucking Discord group, right? This is back before the guy that owned the Discord group actually ended up passing away. But there would be about probably 18 to 25 of us in there. 10 o'clock Eastern, we're just sitting there waiting for the fucking longs to build up because it can't go any fucking lower. Yep. And we're just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And we're like, all right, it's about 11:30 Eastern now. All right, who's going to start it? Like, because that's right when Japan and China's coming on too.
Yep.
So that's when their market's opening. And we're just sitting there like, all right, let's start. We're going to start shorting. We're going to start shorting. And we would have it on multiple exchanges. So we would have it on Bybit, Bitget. I mean, just a whole fucking 9 yards, BNB. It didn't matter what it was. We had people that had passports and IDs to every fucking country in the world. So there was no like issue of us trading anything. Like whoever had that one was like, we had them doxed. They knew who we were. they knew we could reach out and touch them if they tried to take away with our money. And, you know, like Jazz, we would send Jazz to their house from yesterday. But it was very much, you know, that was the whole thing is 10 to 11:30 Sunday night. We were basically coiling that short up, just waiting. We had guys pumping it on spot, try to get the spot price up over in Korea and China, just to get it up a little bit more, just so we could get a better entry on shorts because we would go in leveraged on shorts 100x, you know, 75 to 100x.
Yeah, people were making some bank on the weekend. I used to see it, man. I'd wake up like Monday morning, you know, it'd be like 8 a.m., 7 a.m. Eastern time, and the market would just be treacherous and everybody be crying. I'm like, it's every weekend, guys. Have you not learned yet? The same thing happens.
We're sitting there like they're going to keep putting their shit in here, and we're going to keep shorting the hell out of it.
Yeah, and then they flip it, you know, and then eventually everybody loads up on the shorts, and you get liquidated on the long. It's like, come on, guys. But you know, that's the thing is, like you were saying it earlier, you touched on it. You got to know when to come in and out. You got to know you can't time the bottom, you can't time the top. And the same thing go for shorts and longs. You got to know when to play the short, like how to get in and get out before that liquidation happens. And if you get good at that, you can make a lot of money, especially in crypto, by playing that because it happens nonstop.
Fuck's sake, I need a trading portfolio now.
Yeah, we need trading bots. I see some questions coming through.
Yeah,
we got anything good?
Like, yeah, Ripper. Like, what's your favorite market to trade? Like, what do you? And even the time frame. Do you trade all time frames, or like you just have your favorite ones?
You know, I trade generally. I'm on the 1 minute chart. That's where I stay.
It's a hard one, man.
Nah, it's fucking easy once you know how to do it. That's what I say.
I stay on the weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even come close. Once in a while, I switch to the day chart just to check out the 20 and the 50 to see what it's doing.
To confirm your weekly.
I actually trade on the 15-second and 30-second charts during high volatility moments. Like if CPI numbers are coming out in the US, if certain things are happening, I will actually drop down to a 30-second chart.
Yeah.
Sick.
But asset wise, what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, the assets. Yeah, asset class.
I really, God, that's fucking hard. I like crypto because I'm trading on decentralized exchanges, and y'all can take that for what it's worth. So I like that portion of it. But now I'm more of a currency and futures guy by nature. Because that's where I'll go in long. Like when I see energy, when I see oil, natural gas, and things like that drop off, that's where I will really set in on futures because I know commodity prices are going up. Like oil might take a hit, but it's going right back up. So that's where I will get into that long-term investing strategy and everything. But now, like I said, I like them all. I mean, I trade treasury bills.
I make money with everything.
Yeah, dude, like let me tell you something. If one market isn't working, if one market becomes stagnant and or destabilized for some reason, you have plenty of other assets you can trade.
Yeah.
Like that's what I tell people. Don't get fixated on crypto or futures or Forex or T-bills or real estate or REITs or whatever, credit swaps. It doesn't matter. If something's not going right in that market and it's become destabilized and you're just not figuring it out, hey, you got fucking 5,000 other fucking assets you can trade. Okay. Like don't hurt yourself.
My man's going to the flea market and trading baseball cards when he needs to.
So you are leverage 500 on the fucking 1 minute time frame? No.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Like GBP USD, GBP JPY, AUD USD. My favorite are GBP pairs because they are the most volatile. So I want GBP JPY, GBP USD, NZD CHF. I like it because it gives me something else to do, and gold XAU USD.
So I'm curious. I have a quick question. What is the most amount of money you made in the shortest amount of time on like a volatile trade, like on a 1 minute chart, where you got in and got out within like not even a minute from one another? Like, do you even remember? It was a huge. Was it like something stupid? Like,
it was an 8-figure trade.
Jeez. And what was the time frame of the trade? Just
1 minute.
A minute and 36 seconds.
You can't tell me this because I'm very disciplined when it comes to trading. I'm very disciplined when it comes to finances, but I am also a degen gambler.
Yeah,
I have both sides of it. So I can literally just like fall off one day and just totally go balls to the wall, and just like, if I have my ledgers out, forget about it. I could just literally go broke. But
it was surrounding the first spike in inflationary numbers on CPI in the US. So I knew I had a very good feeling what the number was, and either I was going to lose mid 6 figures or I was going to make a lot of fucking money. And I made a lot of fucking money.
That's awesome. Yeah, that adrenaline rush. The adrenaline rush has got to be exciting.
That's why I love it.
Yeah, especially when you like go to click out, because like when like I've tried day trading, and like, you know, you're waiting for that hit, like where you're gonna sell, or you're gonna, you know, get out of your trade, and like once you hit that button, you lock it in. It's so exhilarating. You know what I mean? And so I get the adrenaline. That's why I just stayed away from getting into it.
And I always tell new people, I'm like, if you want to trade and you're doing this, and I'm, you know, you want my help, whatever, we're trading together, shit like that, I'm going to avoid those specific times.
Yeah.
I'm going to avoid that for a very specific reason, because number one, I don't want you to win on that trade, because that will psychologically fuck you up to think you can call it every damn time.
Yeah.
Number two, I need you to understand market structure before I need you to understand volatility. Volatility is very easy to explain. Market structure and high time frame analysis, when I'm on the 1 minute chart and I can tell you what the volume weighted average is, where your fib levels are, previous day close, low, high, all your midpoints, what standard deviation you're sitting at on a 30-minute and a 1 hour and a 4 hour without even pulling up those charts. That's the type of market structure you need. Not because you're trading off of that, but because you need to know those levels to say, okay, if we get near here, I don't want to be on the inverse of the trade. So, and that's what I tell people. Volatility is very easy to cover. I can train you on volatility in fucking 2 days. Market structure takes a couple months. And that's when you get that and get that understanding. That's when you succeed. That's when you understand. You start seeing the chart before it actually happens. You start seeing certain structures forming and things like that, and it really helps with your short-term or long-term trading.
That makes sense. And like Carlos, like on your question, like how do you manage risk while trading such big amount of money? It's like what he said, right? Like it could have lost like 5 figures, but win 8 figures. So the risk management is here, right? Like if you win, you win big, and if you lose not that much, and it's always a percentage of your portfolio. Like for example, you can have your stop loss and you're taking profit points that where like you only need to win like 60% of your trade and stay profitable, because when you win big, and when you lose, you don't lose that much, and your risk reward will be at least 1.5, 2, and then you're good.
I don't do risk to reward.
He's like, I'm balls to the motherfucking
No,
wall.
I don't. Well, because I'm not really. Here's the reason why. If you do a 1.5 or a 2, okay? If it hits 1.4 and you start seeing bearish divergences setting in, and you start seeing a market correction occurring, I don't care if that's a 20% trade, a 30% trade, or an 80% trade. Get the fuck out of the way. That people do that, and they get like, I know traders, and they're like, well, I'm only hitting 58%. Okay, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm going for a 1 to 1.5. Okay, well, what happens if X happens in the market? Well, I'm waiting. I have my stop loss set. I'm going for a 1 to 1.5.
You can you can move your stop loss, right? Like if you are like 1.3, then you have like a trailing stop loss, and at least you a break even or even after, right? Then you
But I mean,
you win less.
you have a lot of these guys that are out there that are just, I'm dedicated to that 1 to 2 risk to reward.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
like if I can tell you you can hit a 1 to 1.6 with your strategy
Mm.
and your win rate goes from 58% to fucking 82%, guess what?
Mm.
You're a millionaire in 18 months.
Yeah.
Like if you're compounding your account, you're a fucking millionaire in 18 months. Like they get so structured it becomes an overbearance.
Yeah, I
with
do
them.
find people that break it, they fall into habits once they start trading and they find something that works, then they don't ever break from that habit. And
Which
that's
makes
good and
sense.
it's bad,
Makes
you
sense.
know. Yeah, I mean it's good and it's bad because
Yeah.
like what Reaper's saying, if you did break from it and you adjusted yourself and maybe worked off of it, you could actually make more money faster. But staying consistent, you know, is never a bad thing if it's working in trading. You know, like me, I'm very consistent. You know, I have set boundaries and I just stay disciplined and it works for me. So it's all about finding that what works for you in a sense. But
that's really impressive.
For me, risk management is just knowing what I'm investing in. You know, that's my risk management. Just knowing that I'm investing in the right things and hopefully, you know, I get that exit that I want.
Bro, like no, your risk management is take your money, give it to Reaper, wait 1 minute. You just need to wait 2 minutes.
Give it a week.
Yeah.
It's well, and that's the other thing I like doing is I like to teach the principle of compounding.
Yeah.
Use your whole account, but set your risk management up to, okay, I'm willing to take a 15% loss, a 20% loss, but start small. And that's what I was saying with you, Jess. It's like when they start small and they start doing that, and you find the art of compounding. Like for example, last night I started with, I think, well, what did I do? 1,000. Yeah, I had $1,000 in there because I'm just getting back into it now, where I've been off a few weeks from it. I started with 1,000 and I ended up with 45.6K this afternoon. So, because I was compounding the whole account as I was trading.
Good.
So it's like, hey, what if you can take 200 and go to 300 this week? Go to 400 this week. You don't have to be as aggressive as I am, and you don't have to be as strategic as Jazz is with the long-term investment. You can find a middle.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing, is find out what type of trader you fucking are.
See, I get my volatility from gambling itself, like actually gambling. Whereas I know my investments are going to be good for long term and they're always going to have me set up, and no matter how much money I lose gambling, I'm always going to be good. But I also only gamble and invest money that I don't need, in a sense that if I lost it all tomorrow, I would still be fine and comfortable. So always gamble responsible, always invest responsible. That is the lesson today, kids.
Yeah. Well, I gamble too, so that's a complete separate conversation.
Yeah, I know. But they're very similar, but they're different.
Yeah.
And also, like, it took you a lifetime to get where you are. Okay, so you did that multiple times in your life, so okay, less than a lifetime, but like to get where you are and like to get those like wins and also losses, like it requires patience and disciplines, and like if you get that, no matter what, even starting crypto right now with $1,000 without any leverage, like 500x, you can make a shit ton of money if you stay in Web3, if you stay in crypto for at least 2 to 3, 5 years. You can make it, but like just by saying that, you probably have like 1%, 2% of the people who are gonna really do it for real. So yeah,
it's a crazy game, but it's I will say what I learned over 30 years doing it, 98% of it I don't use.
Yeah.
It was information overload. It was bullshit. It was too complicated. And that's when I basically came up with my own process, to where I'm looking at, okay, I want 4 to 7 trades a day when I'm trading. These are the parameters that I'm going to use. Here's what I want to see. and I coded it into a program, and so now I get my, I get my alerts, and it helps me to fit my parameters. I used to trade 12 to 15 hours a day, if not longer sometimes. I would wake up at 2:30 in the morning, quick shower. I would trade from 3 to about 5:30 my time, which was through London Open. Get the kids up, cook some biscuits, gravy, steaks, eggs, hash browns, whole 9 yards. Get them ready, start their school. Then I would be in for pre-market at 8 o'clock in the morning for New York session. Then I would trade from 8 o'clock for another, 6, 7, 8 hours until 4 o'clock. Take a nap, break, get back up, fix dinner for the kids, and then I'd be back trading again at 9. So, sometimes I was trading 18, 19 hours a day, and it was just like, I can't, there's no point in doing this. Like, it's fun, but I can do the same thing, make the same amount, and just pop in and out when I need to.
That's so cool. I love your story. I love your life. It's so cool. This is a banger show. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna come back on the channel, bro.
Yeah, of course, man. Like I said, I've been looking for a fucking home. Jazz and I have been talking about this for at least 9 fucking months. And I literally, you can go back to a thread we were talking on, and I was like, dude, when the fuck is somebody going to do, because I just couldn't understand the concept of NFTs. Not the concept, but I couldn't understand why people were building the same shit every 2 fucking weeks and calling it something different and putting a different fucking picture on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's the same goddamn shit. What the hell are we doing?
It's hard, bro.
And then everybody bitches about it. I'm like, wait a minute. What? Yeah. So that's what I've been waiting on. I was just been like, okay, well, I'm going to fucking hang out until something comes my way.
Yeah. And bro, do you know who's building something different?
Fucking Sujuko.
Yes. Okay. So now let's talk about the deep shit. And we're already over an hour. So yeah, it's going to be a long show. So NFT perp contract. Derivative of an NFTs, you can get the exposure of the price variation of the NFTs. And that's basically it. Like, you have zero requirement to all the NFTs. You can offer the contract. The tricky question is the liquidity point of view. How do you bring enough liquidity to that kind of market without being fucking manipulated to the zero, basically? And yeah, not just destroy the whole market. Reaper, what's the answer?
There is literally only one fucking way to do this, in my opinion.
Okay.
And you and I talked with you about this, and here's my concern. You can't build PAMs and AMMs and all this other stuff to basically back fund the volatility of the market. The way, and that's why I mentioned it on the first episode, the way to truly get this in is you have to have some type of locked asset or locked amount of capital in order to create that funding and create a true decentralized relationship between the perp and what is to be the NFT.
Yes.
So in my mind, in my thought process, you have to make it like an American optionable contract, meaning there's an underlying asset and you can peg it to the current price when that contract is opened. So if DeGods today are at 1,000 SOL, someone opens a contract and says, okay, I'm willing to sell you a DeGod for 1,000 SOL, but you're going to have to pay me 20 SOL up front. That's the premium.
Yes.
Then you either have to lock in that 1,000 SOL to basically hedge as a fund against that asset, or somebody has to go out and purchase, like either the platform or something. Someone has to go out and purchase that NFT to lock in that contract.
Yeah, but then it's become a fractionalized NFT, basically.
Well, no, you have a contract on that. You have a contract on the asset, because the seller, let's say I was going to write you the contract. I'm the seller, you're the buyer. You own the DeGod.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the right to sell your DeGod at 1,000 SOL, but you're going to pay me because you think it's going down.
Mhm.
You're going to pay me 20 SOL to do it.
Yes. Okay.
Then if it dumps,
Mhm.
then I have to pay the difference between 1,000 SOL and wherever it dumps to. Let's say it dumps to 700 SOL
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it expires in 3 weeks. Then I have to pay you the 300 SOL back. See, it's a dual contract. You can either call me to the option on the contract, or you can basically trade that contract.
Yeah.
That's something that wasn't talked about.
Okay. But like it's so yeah. So basically, you need to because like when Zilla was talking about bringing the liquidity, that was to back up like this liquidity, like for having like the DeGod collection listed as a PEP, right? Because that's what the liquidity was talking about,
Correct.
right?
But the
So
problem you have, the other, and that's one rabbit hole you can go down, but there's a bigger one that you and I haven't discussed yet. Where is the actual volume coming from? There's only one true way to do this. You would have to have a DApp or something connected to Magic Eden, Tensor, and all these other marketplaces
mhm.
to actually give you that free flow information. And that's your volume, and that's what your price is created on. Otherwise, I can go out there and make the price whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that was my question, right? Like with market manipulation, when I'm aware, or even I list one DeGod to ETH, then the average price of DeGod is going to shit, and then the oracle that are going to work to reflect the price on the perp contract is going to shit too. But like then I can even short it before
Exactly.
I list it. So then it doesn't make sense, right?
Well, the whole concept is if you're going to do like you and I talked about,
Yeah.
I can take that market and I can drive it to where I want.
Yes.
So let's say DeGods are sitting at 10 ETH right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to get them to 3 ETH because that's the price point I want to buy them at.
You just need one DeGod and you list it, and then that's it.
Exactly. And then if it doesn't get to where I want, I just go get another DeGod and list that. And I keep driving the market down to where I want.
Yeah.
Then what I do is I come in and I buy, if I had 10, and let's say I sold 7, then I come in and I buy them straight back once they hit 3. Then I start buying everything between the original floor number and my price. So now I've driven up the whole market.
Exactly.
And if I'm smart, I'm going to have bids sitting out above the market. So the floor is sitting at 10. As I'm driving it down, I'm leveraging above the market. So I'm buying it. I'm trying to create that hyperinflation. I'm buying it at 11. I'm buying it at 12, hoping other people are going to start buying it at 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm going to sell the ones I bought for 3
at. Yeah, and so it can take like literally like 1 hour to crush any fucking collection that will have a market on Sujiko.
I'm really not even an hour. Give me 30 minutes. Like you can fuck an entire industry doing that. Understand that. For example, go back and look at 08 and 09 in the US market when they started bundling negative mortgages together and jumbo mortgages together, and 2 multi-billion-dollar fucking companies went out of business within 72 hours.
Yeah.
By the way, I was short that fucking market. So again, that's what I'm talking about. You can't do shit like that because there's going to be repercussions. There's going to be developments, and the volume and the volatility are the 2 biggest things.
Yes. So how do you validate the price of your oracle? Like you have to average the volume at a certain price, and if there is like extreme price action, then you ignore those price action. Like you ignore the guy that's going to list DeGod that's 3 ETH instead of 10.
You have to ignore it, and then you also have to set in a buying filter. So meaning if you see the market declining and you feel its manipulation, you have to have a set number of funds aside to come back in and immediately sweep the market to stabilize the floor.
Oh, okay.
Because if not, it's going to keep going down regardless.
Okay,
Whether
that's
it's
cool.
a
Okay.
perp or whether it's, see, that's what all these fucking AM, nobody's figured these AM, whatever the fuck they call them in NFT space. Like, nobody's figured it out. You can go and wreck that shit right now. Like, literally, somebody can go and wreck any fucking collection they want if they have the necessary amount of funds. All I'll start doing is selling below the floor and
I would
continually
love to
do it.
comment on this, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
It's, I mean, it's not.
Well, just because I know who is doing it, and I figured this out 2 months ago.
That's EG, right?
You can't really talk about it because, especially with like us with the coders, we plan on using certain platforms to launch with, and I don't want to make our launch unsuccessful because of things I have to say.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
Well, see, and that's that's one of the areas is a lot of times it's not individuals fucking the market.
Mm.
Why do you think marketplaces want so many fucking transactions occurring?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that makes investors happy.
It
makes the VC people happy.
Exactly, because it goes back to one of my favorite shows is Sharky.
Yeah.
On Jet is probably my favorite show of all time because for some reason that's another one, Nekazuma. I love that. I just love that dude. He just seems so genuine and so honest.
Good people.
That's who I like to gravitate towards, especially if I'm in something new. But if I'm going to deploy assets and I want to return back, I don't want to do it on a weekly basis. Sharky is great. Sharky has its own niche in the market and is going to provide a service. However, if I want to be able to deploy 10,000 SOL and make 3% a day consistently, it's very hard for me. Time is more important than anything. If I can teach anybody anything, time. Investments, short-term trading, long-term trading, life. It's the one thing you can't fucking replicate, and it's the most important thing ever. And it's not beneficial to me time-wise to go out there and try to figure out how to loan 10 SOL to get 0.25 back or what the fuck ever. It's just I need to be able to deploy, and that time is valuable to me. That time is more valuable to me than the 0.25 SOL. So, or the 2.5% or whatever the fuck you get. Sometimes it's like 2.2 or whatever, because I think that's a great idea. But why not be able to allow me to come in and deploy 10,000 SOL and it get swept across all liquidity? I'm not having to draw from one. I can pick 30 different fucking assets that I say I'm willing to own at X price, this asset, this asset, this asset, and it deploys all at one fucking time. And it's the same thing. It's 2.5%. It's over a week, but I can launch it all at one time. I don't have to sit there and manually click. I mean, can you imagine loaning out 10,000 SOL or 5,000 SOL on some of these platforms where I'm having to spend 3 days to fucking loan it out?
Yeah, clicking on 20 SOL loans.
Christ. Like, I'm sitting there going, I can't fucking deploy. And that's part of the problem. I think that's something else that needs to be fixed is we're not there yet. And why are we not there yet with Sudoku or Suzuki, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I say fuck probably more than Vince does. If you have your kids in the room, I go ahead and apologize. I'm ex-military, so it's just something. But
swearing is poetry, bro.
Yeah, well then I'm a fucking poet. It's to be able to deploy assets like that, that's something that can be fixed. Like that, with all the technology that we have in Web3, why the fuck hadn't somebody came up with that? Like to be able to deploy a loan over multiple asset classes, even over multiple chains. Like why the fuck not? Why can't I do that? Like why can't I loan on DeGods? Why can't I loan on ETH, Sol, Bitcoin ordinals, Matic, the whole 9 yards, and loan all at fucking one time?
But
Yeah, just push a button and deploy it.
Yeah, but
exactly.
then that's possible with perp, right? Because then it's synthetic assets that where you don't care about the chain when it's out.
Well, the problem with perp is,
I mean, the liquidity behind it, I understand that, but like that's a good. If V has like unlimited amount of liquidity behind him, then the perp aspect of it gave us allocation exposure to cross-chain, because then we don't give a shit about the backend behind it. It just fucking perps. So that's good aspect of it.
It is. It's the problem I have is when you start dealing with decentralized forms of that's when you're fucking not assets, but that's when your deployable liquidity ends up deploying and not fucking coming back.
Yeah.
That's where that shit ends up fucking happening. Like you deploy 10,000 SOL and like, oh yeah, well, our markets can't handle it. We'll get it back to you 6 months later. You're still waiting on the goddamn 10,000 SOL back.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, look, I've had to negotiate. I had to negotiate with Bybit. Bybit kicked me off as a trader. They told me, they said, you can't trade anymore. Like we are not, like they capped me first. They said, we're going to take you to 50x. Then they took me to 20x. Then they took me to 10x. And this wasn't a VPN issue. This was, they capped me. They were like, no, you're not fucking trading with us anymore. Luckily, they negotiated. I was able to get my assets out of there. And they actually paid me for not trading.
Okay. Wait, what?
They said I was too risk.
Yeah, but why would they keep your assets?
No, well, because that's what they do. Like a lot of those companies, like if you really succeed, and I'm talking 8 figures, a group, they find a group of you, 9 figures, and they're looking at it and they're going, okay, well, we'll block you from trading because you're too successful.
Yeah, but like you can still withdraw your shit, right?
No, they put a freeze on your account. I still got the emails. Yeah. 2 years ago, they 2.5 years ago, they actually told me, they were like, a bunch of us got that fucking email too. Like a couple friends of mine got it too. They were like, yeah, we can't trade there either. Because they don't have the solvency. That's what it comes back to.
What the fuck?
They need 20 traders to fail for 1 trader to succeed. They're counting on that 21st trader to make a profit.
Okay.
Because they're not fucking, they're a decentralized exchange. They don't have the solvency. They don't have the liquidity for somebody to go in, or for 20 of us, 30 of us to go in and say, okay, we want to withdraw, each of us want to withdraw 10 million today.
Yeah, but bro, Curve doesn't have the liquidity either, man.
Yeah, it's great. That's what I always tell people. Why do you think I trade on fucking 30 to 40 exchanges?
Fuck's sake. Okay, so yeah, like King Kong, like you have your answer about like which platform like Reaper is trading. Just 30 of them.
Yeah, all of them. If you can get on any of them, get on all of them. And like make sure they do a withdrawal and then get.
Yeah,
like,
we were just talking about it before you came on the show with us, Rob. Is you got to stay off of Curve right now. Stay away from Curve and anything with Curve, because that is a shit show waiting to happen, in my opinion, right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That owner is so over leveraging himself with his own token. It's ridiculous right now.
And this motherfucker created a pool, a own pool on Curve, so he have like liquidity to balance his own liquidity that he have locked in another pool, and to bring capital to not get liquidated. Like, what the fuck, man?
And like I said to you prior, man, once the guy from Tron, Justin, got involved, I knew it was over.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
As soon as he bought in and got in on it, I'm like, this is going to be a disaster waiting to happen. Just when? When?
Oh, when?
The Web3 when? When is Curve going to dissolve and crash the market?
And King Kong, all of them got it. If you have like $100, you don't need 30 exchanges. You can use Bybit because we have affiliate links. So check in the description.
They're not going to ban you. Like now, I'll say BitGet banned me.
Oh,
They banned me quick.
okay. Which
They
one?
banned me like within 2 weeks.
It's like when you're gambling and you hit big, and all of a sudden your game's not there anymore that you keep hitting on. It just disappears off the server, and then you can't play any games. It's just the same thing. That's the beauty of crypto and trading. You know, it's still, and that's actually something that leads me into a question I have for you, Reaper. Where do you see crypto trading heading once we do have actual regulation in the space?
Are you talking about the ETF specifically?
No, I'm talking about like absolute regulation, like where it's not so much like a wild west out here, and there's actually rules, and there's things that people need to abide by when they're trading with markets and these exchanges. Like CZ Binance can't just do whatever the hell he wants, just like Justin
FTX.
from Tron. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like when absolute regulation comes out, now when the SEC is done nosing around trying to make their own rules. I mean, the SEC just who they just sue again? They're suing everybody.
Ripple.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the Ripple case got
canceled.
an actual answer, but then a federal judge in another case actually said no, that's not true.
I think they're getting ready to sue Binance.
Well, yeah, I've been saying it for a while that CZ has always been up to no good with all his stable coin manipulation. I don't see Binance. I'd be surprised. We're going to see another top exchange crash before this bear market's over, in my opinion. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's one like Binance. So don't get shocked when something like that happens, because the manipulation that's been going on with his stable coins is just absolutely insane. And I think that's why the whole FTX crash happens, because there are people out there that knew stuff. And then there's a lawsuit right now with Tether, where they've been getting sued from like 2 years ago. And there's supposedly somebody that's going to snitch on the tradings of Tether. And at the same time, the dude from FTX has been seen close to the courthouses where all this stuff is, all the litigation's happening. So, you know, it's a big fuck, a big clusterfuck. That's why I'm saying, like, if we do see legit regulation come to crypto, which I think we're kind of on the road to, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I mean, how do you see that changing the market? Like, do you think you're going to be able to like go in and work the way you are now, or do you think it's going to be a lot more like traditional stocks where you'll have to, like, you know, be on regulated sites, and then you don't have to worry about getting your account shut down? Really, you might get stonewalled, but you won't get like shut down completely. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it's going to create a couple of things. Number one, it's going to create stabilization within the market. So you're going to have more stabilization across all of crypto and it's not stable. I'm not talking stabilization price wise. I'm talking about stabilization as in the fundamentals and the core surrounding cryptocurrency as a whole is going to be stabilized. People are going to know where they stand. People are going to understand what they can and cannot do. You know, I really truly think you're going to see a global, and I've been saying this for a while. I don't know how they'll do it, but I see more of a global type of tax system surrounding crypto. I don't know how that's going to happen, because I see it from a perspective of that's the only way they're going to be able to do it, because you can't have, even though we have now, if you're a ex-citizen and you work in X country, you still have to do this, that, or whatever. I can just see it coming off the top and being redistributed to that country. The other thing I see is market volatility decreasing for a certain period of time. However, and I caveat this with however, a big however, when those ETF launches in the US, if you all think you all saw market manipulation before, buckle the fuck up, Susie, because it's really going to get wild. Because here's what's going to happen. Those ETFs in the US are going to be XXX leveraged more than likely. So you're going to have, just like you have a bear ETF and then a 2x bear ETF and a 3x bear ETF, you're going to have the same thing on crypto, specifically Bitcoin. You're also going to see that ETF likely be weekly optionable, which means you should be able, after a certain period of time to develop a correlation between option prices and the option expiry and be able to target a specific zone within that day or that week or that month if it's the monthly expiration. But understand, when you involve options traders, you are welcoming and opening the door to manipulation, to more volume than you've ever seen in crypto. And that is going to wreck people if they are trading leveraged, high leveraged crypto on other exchanges. So I think that's something that the community is not prepared for, because right now they think crypto is it is the Wild West, but they see this volatility, and you know this, Jazz, and you know this, Vince. You go back and look at, the volatility of the market and everything. People need to go back and look at 08 and 09. I'm telling you, go do the research on 08 and 09. Look at what fucking happened. They didn't take a market down 70%. They wiped out half the fucking market in a matter of weeks. And that's what you potentially could see in crypto. I don't think it's going to wipe crypto out. But what I'm saying is, I think you're going to see a development in that stance.
And I will say, what happened at the beginning of 2009 after that? What started? Do we know?
Biggest fucking bull market you have ever seen.
And also the birth of Bitcoin was the beginning of 2009. So that's what also tells me that like cryptocurrency has always been planned. And like that crashed, it was needed to like align a new asset class into the world so people would understand that there's more out there than just paper money, fiat, and even gold. So that's what's crazy too about the 2008 2009 years. Like you're saying, they were so pivotal in the market and the relation of investing and understanding how the markets work. Honestly, I still see Bitcoin, it follows the cycle. I think the cycle is a little different than the last couple cycles, because we saw it go to the lows that we never seen. We've seen it break indicators that we've never seen it break below and stay below. But I still think it's going to bounce like it always has, and it's going to come back down, and then it's going to take off just like every other cycle we've seen. So I'm looking forward to that. That's for sure. I have one more question for you, Reaper, with when it comes to Bitcoin. Do you feel that it's going to hit all-time highs or get close to the all-time highs and then pull back like it has in previous cycles? Usually it will get back up to right around the previous high before it has like a nice pullback on the fib to like, a good, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it usually pulls back about 2 lines before the actual takeoff. And I've seen that in the last 2 cycles. Curious if you think that this cycle, like I was just talking about how it's been so different, do you think it's going to still follow suit to the last 2 cycles that we've seen?
I think this one is more geared towards the cycle before last. And yes, I think you're going to see a pullback to the 0.5. I think this time is a little different though, because you have a lot of shit going on with BRIC nations. Half of them wanting to basically go to a gold-backed stable coin ETF, some type of thing that's going on that we're not really sure of yet. They've talked a lot of different things. We should find out more around the 3rd week of August, because that's when they have their summit. So that's something I'll be listening into, and I'll be listening into Jamie Dimon's response on it, because I follow him very much. He is the GOAT. He is the guy that turned away back in 08 and 09 and said, I'm not touching that shit because my investors are more important. And he's generally spot on with what he says as far as a macro standpoint. I also am concerned with what's going on in Japan right now. A lot of people don't understand this, and they don't know this. Japan controls almost 1.4, 1.6 trillion dollars worth of U.S. debt, and they paid for that debt in U.S. currency. Now, one of the issues is Japan is now coming out saying we're going to sell off a lot of this debt because we cannot keep devaluing our currency. So what they would do is they would sell off 50% of that debt and then convert that USD into yen to boost theirs. Normally when that happens, you see it happen over a decade or 7 to 10 years. That way no currency is getting too stabilized or destabilized, and there's more of a median to it. They are talking about doing it all at one time. So
next Monday.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If they do it, they can do that. They hold it, they can exchange it, and they can literally just convert that at any moment. Like it's not like it's not like with crypto. Yeah. It's so they can sell those assets back and convert the USD to yen. And if they do that at the same time, you see what is supposedly 50% of these BRIC nations going to some gold backed instead of USD backed asset, we're going to have a lot of fucking turbulence in the markets. All that being said, I think we are going to reach new all-time highs. I do not think it's going to be until probably somewhere towards the end of 2025.
Okay.
Is where I'm looking 2025, third and fourth quarter to midway through 2026. And it depends on the volatility in the events like that I was just talking about. So that's something where I'm keeping a keen eye on what they are doing, who's doing what, especially when it involves people don't understand the involvement of currency exchange is more powerful than anything else. It is more powerful than Bitcoin. It is more powerful than any crypto asset or anything like that. If I take $800 billion and immediately convert those from USD to GBP, I'm going to create a disruption that is going to last for probably about 18 months to 2 years. It's going to cause hyperinflation in one country. It's going to cause too quick of a stabilization in the other country. So it's going to get everything out of kilter. That's why I said something like that when generally there's an agreement between the two countries where they do it over a 7 to 10 year period. That way you don't see that wild west type of atmosphere. So that's what I'm hoping for, that they don't do it. Part of my inner degen hopes they actually do it. So, because I know I can catch some swings on that fucking thing.
But wait, like, are you saying like the Japan can like put the US into hyperinflation mode like Monday?
Yeah, like they could have done it yesterday if they wanted to. They hold the majority U.S. debt based on treasury bills than any other fucking country out there.
Just you should buy toilet paper, bro.
I live in Florida, dude. We don't worry about shit down here.
Yeah.
We don't stress. We don't follow mainstream media, and we don't panic like the rest of the country does. That's why I moved down here. I fit in down here.
In Florida.
I fit in down here. No, and it's funny you bring up like the American culture, because that's another wild card we got coming in 2024 is American politics.
Exactly.
The presidential election will be huge. If someone like Trump does take back over and his business sense, he absolutely made the markets accelerate. So we've seen him come back in and take control would be huge, coming up on a Bitcoin halving at the same time. I think that would really be a catalyst towards a good push up. I think Bitcoin's going to push up regardless. Like it says, it's cycled. I've been through 2 cycles in crypto. I had a lot of money in the last bull run. So, I kind of got a better understanding of it with my own money involved than just watching it from the sidelines. But I really, regardless of what the world's doing, I still see crypto doing its thing. I think if regulation does come, we're going to see a lot more safe money come in, which will probably 5x the market cap overall. And we might go from a $2 trillion market cap to a 10 trillion market cap real quick. I forget what the all-time high on our market cap was in the last bear market. I want to say it was a few trillion. Do you know offhand, Reaper, what the market cap was in crypto?
Not off the top of my head.
I want to say it was a few trillion, maybe.
I think it was a couple trillion.
2 to 3 trillion, and I think Bitcoin was half of that on its own. But yeah, I see a lot of. I still see a lot of hope with crypto future. I only invest in certain coins right now. I have a few high risk, like you were saying, gaming. I do have some like really risky gaming coins that like I'll spend like $100 on. I get like 20,000 coins, and I just stock them away and just pray that they're gonna 100x minimum.
Dude, oh my god, man! I've just hit up G-File or G-Fall.
You just need one of those, the 100x, one of those real risky ones. That's it. And your whole bear market in the bull market is worth it no matter what else happens. Even in the rest of my portfolio, just 10x's. If I hit one of those risks and hit like 100x on it, it's like minting a free mint and it going to 10 SOL. It's the same thing. Like in a sense. Like I minted 100 of them. They're 10 SOL. Let's go.
Like regulation didn't save fucking FTX, right? Like,
well, it's not here yet, though.
How do you regulate like as an industry where like Jake can create a blockchain in his fucking garage and like you can pass transaction there, and to like I can create a wallet in 5 seconds and then you can track me, bro?
I think the regulation's more for the exchanges and the bigger players in the market more so, you know?
Yeah, but then decentralized, like you can be Curve 2.0 and say, okay, I don't own the keys, so DAO own the keys.
Well, that's the thing too. Like you're gonna see like CBDCs get pushed in like even like the United States, whereas some states aren't going to adopt them. Like Florida is against them. They don't want them in the state. They think they're dangerous because they can track everything you do and have full control of your money. You know,
bro, they already do that. Like you have a fucking MasterCard, they already track what the fuck you spend. Like it's.
But at the same time, I'm investing in the coins that have to do with CBDCs because I know they're coming and I know they're going to take off, and I know a lot of countries are going to adopt them because they want that control of their population.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with them. I don't think central bank digital coins are the greatest thing, but they still are going to be in our future. So sure as hell, I'm going to play both sides and invest in the ISO coins and all the coins that are going to develop that technology and the way that those coins will transfer. You know.
Oh yeah, that's back the gaming side of it to me is just like all these fucking coins that are that are heavy isolated to Japan, China, Korea, Lit, WAGMI, GVOL, all of them. I'm just like buying them up. I'm like buying literally 1,000 a week, 1,000 USD a week. I'm just like fucking I can't get enough of them. I'm like, cause all I gotta have is one of them hit.
Yep. It's just like playing roulette and just waiting for one of those numbers that you just loaded up to hit.
And that's what I did with ADA, with Cardano.
Yeah.
I was real early in Cardano. I was real early in Matic.
Yeah, I made a lot of money in Matic last run.
And those are two Matic, ETH, Immutable X, I'm trying to think of the other ones, Avalanche. Any of them that have like a core gaming side that is far east movement type, like I'm all in. Like I've been buying those are ones I did not sell. I only sold like 50% towards the top because I was afraid even during the bear market they were going to pop off because of gaming. Because gaming, when it comes, it's not going to follow the other markets. Because gaming is there whether you're in a bear market or a bull market. People are still playing fucking games.
Yeah, true.
There's only 2 coins I didn't sell last bull run, and that was my Ethereum. Because I've sold Ethereum here and there. Like I'll sell like 10 at a high price and buy back in 2025 with the same money. I'll flip my Ethereum to build my Ethereum, but I've never sold out of my position entirely. And the other coin, I was just locked in the staking, so I couldn't sell it. I was only able to pull so much out, and that was Crowcoin. I bought 8K of Crowcoin when it was under a dime, and I sold like 25,000 coins at almost the all-time high, around 86 cents. I think I sold, but I still had 50,000 staked on their site, and I couldn't unstake it until like a year, maybe like 13 months ago. I was able to unstake it finally. So I'm still sitting on 50,000 Crow, but it's all free. I've already made 3x on my money on my takeout on the 24,000 that I cashed out. the token, but I'm hoping that in the next bull run that Crow's still around enough just to kind of like at least hit 50 cents again so I could sell it all. I mean, I'll be happy to sell it at anything because it's all profit. I'm not going to sell it before the bull run. You know, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm sitting on 50,000 for free tokens, but they're the only two tokens that I held over other than Solana, of course, because I started getting Solana NFTs and I had a nice bag of Solana at the time. So I stayed into that. I kind of wish I kept some Matic, but I sold Matic at like 220 and I think I bought it for like 8-9 cents. I want to say something like, and that was huge. Like I put like 5K into it, so you can just do the math on the profits right there. Not super money, not super sick fuck you money, but it's still great money, you know.
How you do it? You do that 3 or 4 times, and it is good.
Yeah, every cycle,
at that
man.
Point.
Trust me, this cycle I'm fucking loaded, dude. If we just 10x, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Just give me a 10x.
and you're not even counting your few bags.
I'm not even done accumulating. I mean, I'm still looking to accumulate for another year before I start my spreadsheet, run my fib charts, and look at all-time highs, and then start putting my exit points. You know,
well, I'm telling you, me and you are going to be fighting on secondary to sweep the floor. Decoders. So I'm telling you that shit right now because I told you a long time ago when I found one that I was willing to invest in, it's going to be on. So me and you are going to be fighting. And
there's some people in the chat too that are like, yeah, you think so?
and here's my fucking issue is I'm not like when it comes to wallets and shit like that, I'm going to have to practice sweeping before I actually fucking do it. So I don't fuck it up. Because that's my thing. It's like I'm not like into, even though I was a programmer, software developer, sort of like we didn't get into my military, but I'm like computer intelligence type shit. That's where part of the nickname Reaper comes from. But it, you know, a lot of this is out past, you know, I don't even think I've fucking minted anything, to be honest with you. Like from a straight.
The good thing about Magic Eden is they do have a sweep button where you can just select like sweep 100. You click a button, you click approve, and as long as you have the money there, you're done.
I found that the other fucking day. I was like, I got to figure this shit out because it's going to be coming down to it. And I was like, I can't fuck this up. So
yeah, it's all good. Like they're just like any collection. There's going to be up and downs. You might see a heavy sweep right after the mint, but you're always going to have those paper hands that are going to sell and just, you know, try to liquidate their positions, or they get bored. You know, they don't believe in long-term vision, or they just don't understand, you know, like how to invest, like investing 101, you know.
Well, you know, and that's something I will say is I always chastise the not the Solana community, but the NFT community for not having a long-term vision. But in all honesty, as I've sat back over the past month and listened and things like that, as far as really attentively every day spending 6 to 8 hours researching NFTs and stuff like that, they really haven't had something to look forward to, like long term. So I really can't chastise them anymore for not having, because we used to have that conversation. But in all honesty, there's only a handful out there, like really minimal, less than 5, that I would say have long-term vision with Web 2 and Web 3 combined in some form or fashion. Not a direct relationship, but, you know, I think Gambles, Decoders, that's like really your Web 2, where your community is reaping the benefit of the symbiotic relationship between the Web 2 and the Web 3.
And we are a brand. We're gonna bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. And we have staking image.
Exactly. Well, when you get Web 2 people to understand the concept and that the community is going to be the beneficiary of it, because in Web 2, that's all it is. But for some reason, when we came into Web 3, everybody just started wanting to represent the one individual and not the community.
Yeah, it changed fast to get NFTs when I got into them. Like in 6 months, it went from being all positive and everybody wanted to win for everybody to fuck you. I do what I want. I just want engagement. I don't care about you. I'm going to shit talk you because I get more money that way. Like literally in like 6 months. I was like, what is going on? What happened?
It's the same shit. Like I saw a tweet today, like one guy saying, yeah, at the end of the day, people don't really show up because they like you. They show up because they have an interest, like okay, like some financial gains in your relationship. And it's kind of true, right? Like you talk to people in a way because you need them for 5 minutes and then you never do that again, except for a couple of people that you really like and stuff. But tricky. There is money in the middle of the table anyway, right? And everyone is trying to get it. So
yeah, I mean, everybody that's in NFTs is here to make money. That's why they came here. I mean, then there's people that have came here, like even for myself, I can say, yeah, of course I like profits. Of course I like to make money. I'm an investor, but I also came to NFTs just to fuck off while I was waiting for a next bull run, honestly. And I just fell in love with communities and projects and meeting people from all over the world and that community aspect of the NFTs more than the profits themselves. Don't get me wrong. I loved when I sold a Dead God and made 500 and some sold profit. That was great. It was fucking awesome. Sweet. You know, I loved when I sold my famous foxes and I, you know, I bought in for them or I won them on raffles and I made like 60, 70 sold per one I sold. Loved it. And I'd loved investing that money back in the crypto. But at the same time, the NFTs at the end of the day, that's not what I came for. I didn't come for just making money. I didn't know what NFTs were about, but when I got here, I realized that that community aspect was here. And then that's why I'm so stingent on the way I like to build the coders community. I want to make sure that everybody is in the community, wants to be a part of the community, and is here for a positive part of the community. I mean, if you want to come in our community and hustle, that's great. You can do it, but just don't do it so don't be oblivious to respecting like the other people in the community. You know, like just do your thing. That's fine. We're all here to make money. I get it, but I don't know. I think NFTs is more than just making money.
And if you are going to be a dickhead, at least do it in EST time. So that way I can jump in there and say something, because God, every fucking time is when I'm asleep and I wake up and I look and I'm like, I'm DMing Jazz. I'm like, man, fucking like start calling me on Discord and waking my ass up or something when this happens, because I'm like, I miss it every fucking time. I'm like, damn it.
I just think people don't expect someone like myself to be as straightforward and honest and not give a fuck. Like, oh, well, you need me in your community. No, I don't fucking need you. We need people to actually give a shit about community and give a shit about NFT space. I don't need you because you're a number and you have a whitelist and I need you to mint our project, our free mint. Oh yeah, I fucking need you. Get the fuck out of here. Honestly, and that's just me being straight. I mean, if you're here because you want to be in NFTs, you want to build something and you would be a part of something, fucking A, dude, let's go. But if you're here because you think I need you to be a whitelist to mint out my project, you can go fuck yourself. And I'm just being straight.
Don't tell it the history of chat, so then Rob can come back on the server and read everything.
I mean, I'm always gonna be a straight shooter. Like I have nothing to hide. We built this project to give back, to grow community, and to give everybody a piece of something, which is the YouTube channel. And everybody wins, and that's what it's all about. So I mean, honestly, going the way there, if some people are just going to be disrespectful and not get that, I mean, I have no problem putting you in your place. our server is like, you know, it's funny, like some people come into our server and like some of the mods are like, wait, you guys say what to people on tickets? You're like, yeah, you open a ticket for the wrong reason, man. We'll just ban your ass.
See, and I want to be able to say that, but I'm always asleep when it fucking happens.
Do you want to be mod?
No. You don't want me to be a mod.
No, I mean, I think the way we run the server though, it's legit. I am straight up. Like I am my main goal is to protect the community. And I will make sure that anybody that's in there trying to fucking fuck off with their hustles that I've seen 3 million times with their fake PFPs and shit, I will get rid of those people and I will call them out in a heartbeat. And some people are like, oh, you shouldn't talk to people like that in the community. Like, what? You don't even fucking know what I know. Like, get out of here. But most of you people in the community, you guys know me. You get where I'm coming from. I'm looking out for everybody, you know, at the end of the day. I might come off rough and I might come off as an asshole, but at the end of the day, man, we're gonna build a fucking killer community.
Bro,
That's
like
what it's about.
the only one crying on the one getting banned. Everything else on the server is fine, so it's good.
Banned with your
hilarious
12
because,
accounts. And
Guys,
you know,
yeah, go
it's
for it.
hilarious because
I just love when you ban someone and then they immediately talk on another account and talk shit to you, and then you ban them and they talk shit on another account. It's like, bro, you're literally just showing the truth of why I banned you. Like, you know, you're just proving the point here.
when y'all give
people,
back so much, like both of y'all, I've seen give to other people, give back. That's what I talked about with the trust and everything like that. Like when you give back and you have that trust and everything, and you're that type of person, I can't stand for people to fuck with those type of people. Like that really just goes off, like way off me really bad because it's like, these people are here doing shit that nobody else fucking does. Like I've
yeah.
seen, I mean, just because I've known Jazz longer, I've seen him give so fucking much to people and send shit to people and stuff like that. And I'm like, that right there tells me I'm in the right fucking place.
Yeah, I do like giving away stuff. But when you're blessed in life and you have it good, it's important that you give stuff back to other people that might not have it as well, because you could change their life with a simple gesture like that, or their mindset, because a lot of people don't have a good mindset in this space. So by me, once in a while, someone's having a rough day, like just send them an NFT. It could change their whole mindset.
Yep.
And actually improve that person's life in a sense that they might start thinking differently. And thinking differently is where it all starts. That's how you improve your life, is first in your mind, and it's important to be positive and to stay positive and to radiate that positivity. And there's so much negativity in this space, especially if you open a ticket for the wrong reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
I just have fun, guys. Yeah, I'm sure you guys all see it. We're just fucking off and building a cool ass project.
I have an idea. We're gonna create a channel. It's gonna be you, Rob, Jazz, and a couple of guys that we know that know how to trade. And it's gonna be read only for the community. So the only interaction they will have is like the emoji stuff. But your conversation will be public, and you're gonna talk about trading and like alpha calls shit, or like trading calls, but on read only mode.
Absolutely sweet. I love it. I'm all about it.
Cool. Okay.
And we can also start doing some spaces on the decoders. We could just do straight spaces where we do trade talks. And like when I know Reaper's around, I could just start up a space one night for an hour. Whoever's around, hop in. You got questions you want to ask them directly, or myself.
Yes.
We're two different, totally different traders, but but that's what you need to learn.
Exactly. That's what you need to figure out where you fit in, and that was one of the things we were talking about. Why, what, like, I know Vince asked me, I think, what type of other content would I like to see on the show? Like trading, finance, like get some of these, like, and I'm not even talking me, I'm talking like get, Jason Appleton on there. Get guys that are specialized in certain crypto that understand that, like he's an ADA guy. He's the ADA guy, really, in my opinion. But like, he's got 150,000 followers, roughly. Like him being on doing a show like that once every 2 weeks or once a month or whatever, that's deep diving into a specific crypto coin, what it is, its utility, why is it important, what purpose is it serving, what, the good, the bad, the ugly. And the same thing, I would really like to see fucking like you two and pick a couple other people that are experienced in NFTs and drilling down a project or drilling down 2 projects over an hour, taking, I'm just going like whatever, taking DeGods and fucking Blocksmith Labs and doing a drill down on them and the good, the bad, and the ugly, where they fucked up, where they're going, do they have, in y'all's opinion, do they have potential, what's the potential outlook on them? Where are they pivoting? Where did they pivot right? Where did they pivot wrong? What's the current price point? What do you think about the current price point? Shit like that. I mean, anything educational portion, I think is so lacking because 90% of the educational portion you get in Web3 is bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, let's just put that point blank. Like, having that value as a new person into NFT, like being able, like with Jazz, you know, like I said, I've DM'd him or talked with him in threads for 9 to 12 months, and just being able to have that in Vince over the past couple of weeks, being able to bounce those ideas and go, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. You know, I'm looking for something 7 to 10 years out. Where should I be looking at that? You know, what NFT community, other NFT communities out there do you feel are undervalued right now? Things like that are, I think, paramount, coming from honest, trustworthy fucking people. Whether the call is right or not doesn't matter. To me, the fact that it's coming from these people matter more to me, and that makes it important to me to understand where y'all are coming from, what y'all look at, and things like that.
Bro, you just became like a Decoders content creators. That's what's up. We can talk about that, bro. That's fascinating. I love it. Yes, bro, this show is the best show ever on the channel, and I think it. Oh, did we get over 2 hours with Carlos? I don't think so. Right?
I think Carlos was right around 2 hours.
Okay.
And I'm sure when we do a 2.0 version, like we're gonna bring him and Kevin and a lot of the early shows back on. I'm sure it will probably extend to, because when you have good people and good company, it's easy just to talk.
Yes, bro, I love it. It's cool. It's awesome. That's a nice first numero. First edition.
First edition.
Yes, that's good. But maybe we can wrap it up here, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it just needs that there's the fact that we're gone so long, that just means that we need to do this more often. So maybe if myself, Reaper, and Vince can set up a schedule, like maybe do this like every couple of weeks, just get together and chit chat, and then of course you guys can join us. We'll open up the space. You guys can come up and talk with us. Well, let's just do it and like hang out as a community. It could be almost like a community vibe. Like, when I first met Vince, it was in another project. And the reason that we bonded so well with one another and that whole core, and a lot of the people that are in Decoders came from this community, and the reason that we're so close is because we did a weekly space where we just hung out and we just talked and we chit chatted, and then like we just all got to know each other, and we used to hang out all the time every week. And I think that's some important stuff with community building, is to have that bond where you guys get to know each other on a personal level. And because then it becomes different NFTs, then the server becomes a home server for you, where you go to ask a question. Like, you might have a problem with a car, you might have a problem with investment, you might have this, and you can go into the chat and just be like, hey guys, and you're going to get honest answers. So that's why I look forward to our mint and being able to actually have a holders chat, because once we have that holders chat, that's when the true home for Decoders is going to be born.
I can't wait to mint.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right now we have so many people on the server, we don't know who they're just putting periods and H letters and just letters to try to keep their whitelist right now. And I just laugh at them like, that doesn't matter, guys, but cool. Appreciate you showing up. But I'm looking forward to it, man. No, that's cool. I'm looking forward to September and you coming back from France and us getting this show to the next stage that we're heading.
Yes.
But, Reaper, if you're down, man, I'd be down to do some like spaces even when Vince is not around.
You have that account, bro. Do what the fuck you want with.
I mean, I have the access to the account. I can even bring in the Gambles account. We could do like a co-spaces with the two projects and just like try to pull the communities together and get those bigger communities together with us too.
Yeah, I'm down with that for sure. I mean, hell, I used to do live trading for fucking 10 hours a day.
Yeah,
people would randomly. I had at one time a YouTube channel, probably I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I grew it to close to, I want to say 70,000, 80,000, and my health, like I ended up health wise going into the hospital for about 6 months and literally bedridden for 6 months, and they had came back and they were asking me for my ID and stuff, and I didn't turn it in time and all this shit. And but yeah, I mean, it didn't take, like, it took me maybe like a year, but I mean, trading, finance, assets, all that shit. Plus, it's got a higher CPM on YouTube.
People are like,
Yes.
what's the one
Yes.
utility of decoders? Community members that can educate you.
That's that's why I'm here. Like,
yeah,
that's why I told you. I was like, you know, this when one of y'all mentioned me in a fucking chat a couple weeks ago, like, you know, why are y'all here? What are y'all doing? Like, I'm here to be educated on NFTs. I don't know, like, if I don't know something, I'm gonna tell you. And when it comes to NFT, I'm to the point now where I can tell you what a collection is if I see a picture. But what they do, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
But my assumption is over the past 2 weeks of research, 90% of them do the same fucking shit. So
they do.
That's just my thesis. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but
no,
like,
you're completely
right.
Your percentage might be a little off, but only by a few percent.
Yeah, it's like it's probably closer to 95%, but it's like,
yeah, I mean, end of day, I think the building the community. I think we need to do more shows like this. And people that are listening, you guys in the community, some of you guys that are extremely active, would love to have you guys on these shows too. So if you're interested, like, let me or Vince know, like, hey, I would love to do a YouTube show with you guys for the holders segment. I mean, I think it'd be cool to really bring you guys out, because like, you guys just learned so much about Reaper, who's in our community, and now you know that this guy, you know what he's about, and you know a little bit of his background, and you know, now you'll see him in the chat and you'll be like, hey bro, like, hook me up with some tips. No, I'm joking. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it's bringing the community together.
It's not to chill your own project. Like, it's not a chill members show. It's like to know more about like not personally level, but like the why of the people inside the decoders community. Like, if you DM me, oh yeah, can I have a show about my 12 people project? And no, I'm not about that, bro.
No, trust me, if you're gonna DM one of us about a show, you better damn well be active in our community and be a part of the community and be an asset to the community already. Because that's important, because we need the people like you that are really going to help us drive forward, like all the people that have been sub to the YouTube channel and like already early supporting the channel and stuff like that. Like there's so much love to you guys, and that ability to like believe in the vision that Vince had set out for this project and that we're trying to build together to make it work and to like bridge Web 2 and Web 3 and bring this home.
Don't say that, bro. Like, I'm not bridging Web 2, Web 3. Nah. All of the
we're making Web 4. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, by the way, Mitchell, get ready to get your ass on the all the show, because you're coming, bro. I can tell you're coming to this stream.
Yeah, I mean, the future is just, we can do so much with this community. And there's so many like people in the community that are like, when you look in our community, you're just like, oh wow, like I know this guy. I've been following him on Twitter for years. like I didn't even know he was in here, just chilling in the background.
Man, I ain't had a Twitter in years. Like, my Twitter, like, literally, like, when I say I was fucking, like, I mean, well, a lot of mine was government issue though as well, because they really did not want me having they did not want me on social media.
So, yeah, I think King just came up with the name of the show. It should be called the Chill Don't Chill Show.
Yes.
That's a requirement, but Decoders Orders, it's kind of cool. I love it.
Yeah, much love to the community. I mean, if you're still here and you haven't been banned by me, much love to you guys. No, I actually just enjoy building communities, guys. So hopefully, once we get this min out, we can really shine and get this community to what the potential is, and the true people that have been here since day one, that have been grinding with us and in the chat every day and in every video. You guys are gonna definitely reap the rewards. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he's a people person.
I am a people person. I mean, that's what I did for a living. I was a musician. I played on stages and entertained people. Still doing it
by banning them.
Yeah, well, that's it's the same thing at a show. You just kick people out of the shows and they got rowdy. It's the same shit.
And then remember, you create emotions by banning them. Oh, this motherfucker banned me. Oh, but you're gonna remember me for your whole life. bro.
Yeah. Go talk shit about me on Twitter. I'll be in the thread. Let's go. I can play a lot of instruments, King, but I mostly made my money playing guitar and producing.
Do you want to drop your
No.
Okay.
That's a different part. Listen, if you dig and you find some of my music, all the power to you, but I don't need to promote it. It's done me it's made me a comfortable life, and it's made me very it's made me be able to sit on Discord all day and ban motherfuckers. That's what it's made me be able to do. I don't need to,
it's not as fast as like trading 8 figures in a minute, but it puts you in a good position.
Yes, it's nice residual income that I never have to worry about things, so very blessed, very blessed.
That's dope.
But I wanna trade on Reaper's level though.
It's coming
one day.
Thanks for the channel that we're gonna put together.
I'm gonna be live streaming 7 days a week, fucking 9 hours a day.
That's what's up.
And it will. Now, actually, I'm hoping within the next month, maybe, I'll have my stuff finished coding. So if that happens and y'all have a TradingView account, just DM me or we'll put it somewhere and I'll drop it to y'all for free. So I've spent almost a decade building this.
You want a platform?
It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be part of the utility for decoders. It's going to be.
That might be it too. It's
we might work a deal out of some sort. Work something.
It's actually it's an auto fib market structure, and it has over 135 divergences that can occur at any time.
Okay.
On certain ones, as well as my custom indicators, and it can flag out, and I can actually make it work on the 4-hour time frame, Jess. So that's pretty cool.
I just wanted to say real quick, Icy stopped in to say goodnight. Just want to say hello and goodnight to Icy. And I did have a question for you. It's funny you brought up indicators. I was going to ask you, like, what are your top 2 or 3 indicators that you use when you trade, whether it be on a 1 minute or a weekly? Like, what are your top few indicators that you use when you do trade?
Indicators are too slow on the 1 minute chart. You can't. Yeah, it's the sensei feelings, man.
See, I'm a weak chart guy, man. Like I look long term, so my indicators, really matter. I mean, because I chart my exits for like the bull run, for example. My strategy is very simple. I wait until I get to a certain point where I think the bottom's in and we're starting to push up, and then I run a fib retracement and I mark out indicators of where I want to take my exits and what percentage I want to exit at. And that's what I did last bull run. I did very good. I took 40% at my first indicator, then I took 20% at the next indicator after that, and so forth. And I had a strategy, and I was able to take all my money out and all the profits on the way up based off of that strategy from running a basic Fibonacci strat off of where the all-time low hit and the previous highs and some charting. So that's why I was just curious, like, what's your go-to, like, when you do charts, let's just say for a long-term investment, what would be like your 2 go-to indicators?
ADX and fib. If I'm looking at long-term, I'm looking at ADX. I really would, even in long-term, I want to have a volume oscillator on there. I'm a classical reversion trader. So when I am looking for shorts, I'm going against sometimes market structure. And by doing that, I need to know where we're at as far as how far away we are from VWAPs and standard deviations. So when I'm trading against something, I want to make sure that we have went outside at least 3.2 times the standard deviation, as well as we're volume wise so far away from your volume weighted average. So I'm looking to enter once we start coming back into the third standard deviation, going towards the second, as well as my take profit is actually going to be the VWAP. So when price hits VWAP, I know or it gets close. That's my ultimate target. Is that's as that goes, my target keeps moving. So if it continues down and I'm trading against, I'm going short and it's going long, but it continues down and I've actually caught a top, then my target continually moves. That's why I said I don't have a 1 to 1.5 or a 1 to 2 target. My target is dictated based upon what the market is doing at any given time. So if it turns sharp against me, I'm going to get out earlier. I might get out at 20, 30, 40%. Whereas if it continues turning down, my target is now moving. So as price turns down, my take profit turns down with it. And so that's what I use. On shorter time frames, I'm generally doing the same thing, but my fibs are based on fractals. Where most people use fucking pivot points, and pivot points are fucking shit. I'm just going to tell you right now, because pivot points don't fucking produce until generally 8 to 10 candles after the fact.
Yeah.
So I'm trading on, like if I'm trading on a 1 minute chart, I'm trading based on 15-minute fractals. So I'm trying to snipe in at a direct entry on the last 15-minute fractal, as long as we're outside of a certain standard deviation and we're far enough away from the VWAP to where I can say, okay, we've created an imbalance within the system. So now I'm going to capture that imbalance, and I'm trying to take 50% of that back, because what goes up must come down and what goes down must come up.
Sometimes.
Ride the wave.
I never trend trade, because here's the problem. If you trend trade, and I'm not saying anything against trend traders, but if you trend trade, here's what happens. You buy it at 10, you buy it at 11, you buy it at 12, you buy it at 13. You buy it back at 12, you buy it back at 11, you buy it back at 10, you buy it back at 9. Now you're sitting there wondering, well, I had $5,000 in this trade. How do I only have $800 left? Because you didn't realize the trend was fucking over. That's why I say don't catch the top, don't catch the bottom. Try to catch the 70% in between.
Yeah, don't buy when there is blood in the street, but at the first sign of the ambulance.
Yeah, I want to buy when there are bodies in the fucking street. That's when I like to fucking buy. I want bodies in the damn street. I want decapitated heads. I want children walking around looking for their mommies and daddies in the sewers. That's when I make my most money. Look at 2020. Look at 2008. Yeah. Look at the different black swan events. Like that's when when you were talking earlier, well, do you have a nest egg on the side? That's when my nest egg really comes into play. You let me get Apple stock that's been trading at 100 and now it's down to 15 due to an event that it had nothing to fucking do with. You're damn right I'm going to go deploy 6, 7, 8, 9 figures, as much as I can get my fucking hands on.
Yep.
I mean, in 2020, I had fucking rental properties. I was getting lines of credit at 90% LTV to throw into every fucking market I could throw it at, because I knew we're coming back up. It's just how long do I want to hold it, and how much cash do I got on side to pay for if I took 100 loans on property rentals. That's all it is. How long? Okay, I can afford to pay this for 6 years without having to go back to work or without having to trade. Just with the cash I have on hand, I can pay it for 6 years. Okay, well, I'm not going to use my capital. I'm going to use other people's capital to make my money. Same thing with margin, leverage, whatever. I'm not using my capital to make money. I'm using everybody else's capital to make money. And so that's, like I said, in 2020, Katie barred the fucking door. 2008, let Japan do this shit. Let BRIC go to fucking gold-backed ETF or some shit. Let turbulence fly in the market.
Yeah.
I'll make money out of it. And that's where my nest egg comes into play, is I'm just waiting. Because it happens every fucking 3 to 7 years. Yeah, you at least get one event every 3 to 7 years that's stupid and you can't fucking explain it. And, you just sit there and wait as you're trading. You're just building that nest egg up. You're working, you're trading, you're flipping, you're doing whatever, you're hustling, and you're just building that up on the side until that stupid fucking event happens that everybody's like, okay, why the fuck did everything go down? All this one little thing? Fuck, we've already got it fixed. Why is everything still at a 70 to 65 to 80% discount? Okay, well now it's time for me to fucking buy because everybody else is selling. That's the one thing I do. When everybody else is talking about selling, I'm buying. Because everybody talked about buying Bitcoin at 60K.
Yeah.
I was already out 80% of my Bitcoin at 60K. I was out all like, I thought the top was going to be 75 to 80. I didn't have it right.
You should have DM'd me at that time, bro.
I was out. Like I was started scaling out at 55. I'm like, this is still like, this is ridiculous. This thing is not going to 100 right now. And I thought 75 to 80.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, by 60, I was out of fucking 80% of it because I was targeting 70 as my last 20%. 65 was 10%, 70 was 10%. So I was left holding 10% that I ended up getting back out at like 50 when it came back down. And I'm like, okay, this shit's over for now.
Yeah.
And, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is great. I mean, hell, I had a leverage trade. I think it was from 15,000 to 60K. I was 100x on a leverage trade from 15K to fucking 60K. But just because it was one of those ones, I mean, it wasn't a fucking lot of money. It was like fucking $8,000-$9,000, but it was enough to where you're sitting there going, wait a fucking minute. Like I didn't close it out either. I'm like, fuck it, I'll pay the funding fee because I think we're going up. And I did, but it's just, that's why I say you just gotta just wait every 3 to 5 years and build that nest egg up 3 to 7. When that event happens, don't be scared to pull the fucking trigger.
Yeah.
Just go in there.
There is a guy like in the French community, like he was like already millionaire, like with like Bitcoin, but I think was like, I don't know, like 5K, 9K, whatever. He had a long on Binance and shit, and he made like hundreds of millions, at least that's what he said, on Binance. Oh, okay, I don't know the platform, but whatever. And his fucking long was like, was hundreds of millions. It's crazy. Like it just for on one trade. And now he was explaining on a podcast that just like wait to re-enter the market on a long like that, and then wait for the 80 plus 90K Bitcoin stuff. And just one trade per year, and that's it. And the guy makes like 100 of millions just like that.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm hoping the end of this month creates turbulence, and I hope Bitcoin drops back down to 12 to 15.
Okay.
That's where I'm hoping. Is it going to go there or not? I have no fucking clue. But man, if we could get back down to that 12 to 15K, I will come in like fucking gangbusters, man. I will go in balls motherfucking deep. Like I'm just like it's the same thing with Solana. If we get back below 10, which we're coming back down, like everybody's like, oh well, we're gonna hit 35 before we hit 25 again. No, you were fucking wrong on that. Think if we don't hold fucking 21 or 19, we're gonna be in for a serious shaking. And I think 17 is another right around, I think it's 2150, like 1950 range, something like that. And then if 17 doesn't hold, it's going to be a fucking complete liquidity sweep back down to at least 80% of the lows again. So you're looking at 10. And that's what I'm looking at. Like, okay, if it goes up to 35 and I change my projection, that's, if I change, not my projection, but my midterm sentiment, short-term sentiment, then I'll fucking buy in. It's not a big deal. This is, you just sit there and wait.
Yeah, you lose five figure, but you can win 8.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bro, we should really wrap it on that.
Yes, I agree.
Before we don't wrap it.
Yeah, I think part 2 is coming.
Yeah.
We got to keep material for part 2.
But that's cool. I will have a bag ready for when it comes back. And you can be sure Rob will have a little message on the Discord, Discord. Bro, you're going to put us on, like, just because of this alpha channel that you're going to have just for yourself. Decoder's floor will be like 100 soul just for that.
I hope it goes to 1,000 soul, because y'all, with what y'all built and who you are in the community, you both fucking deserve it. I say that with the utmost sincerity. I mean, I really do.
Thanks,
I
bro.
appreciate all the information, education, friendship y'all have given me, and it's you know, it's definitely a blessing. I appreciate it.
Okay, last question, because I really have to ask this one. What are we doing poorly right now, from your perspective?
I wouldn't say anything poorly, but like I said, I would really fucking the more niche shows of like
Okay.
finance and investment every week or 2 weeks or 3 times a week or what the fuck ever, just more, because I think you're going to see different members watching everything, but then you're going to see different members funneling into certain areas they might want to be educated on, certain areas they might want to, they might need help on, things of that nature. And then also I would like I meant to say this to V earlier. I have a lot of daughters that are younger, a lot. Like I said, I could fucking field a goddamn softball team. And one of the things I always see is like, there's no sub 18 communities out there that are driven by good people, specifically for females. And like, I would love to see V and Icy and AC and Amy come together on a maybe just once a month to introduce, younger females to the market and stuff like that. Just something like the art, the market, the utility, the things like that. Because like, I have 2 kids that are searching, my 12-year-old and my 8-year-old, or no, she's 9. Sorry, when you have so many kids, you get them fucking mixed up too. My 12-year-old, yeah, my 12-year-old and my 9-year-old are very much interested in NFTs, but I don't. It's hard for they want to see that female leadership in the industry, and they want that. I feel like that's where they want to connect with, and I try to find it, and it's not there. So I think we say that all the time about younger males having role models in the community and things like that, as far as like education and everything. So I would like something like that.
We need another coffee break version, but without me. Fair enough.
And it needs to be like in the fucking afternoon. I've tried to make coffee break, but like generally I'm making like steak and eggs and bacon and feeding 9 fucking dogs and trying to feed 10 fucking kids. And it's like, my coffee break is like me climbing on top of my house, smoking and drinking a couple beers. I mean, that's where I'm at with it.
And King, I think like V is like her phone is dead since like 30 minutes now.
Yeah, she got bored. Once we started talking about D-Gods, that was it. She was gone. She's like, all right,
I'm gonna have to give her hell. I'm gonna change her name to Candace in the fucking thing. Hopefully now she knows my personality, and it's like I'm not coming off serious about it, but like hopefully she gets me now, because before I think she's like, who the fuck is this calling me Candace? She didn't even realize it. I was like, all right, Miss Owens.
Please continue to do that, bro.
It's funny as hell.
But bro, thank you so much for your time, man. Yeah, like we killed it. It's probably my favorite show. It's always like tricky to say that, because then I mean, I didn't like the other ones, but this week I had a blast.
Oh, this has been fucking epic. That was cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah, much love to you, Reaper. Appreciate you being in the community. Appreciate your time, and appreciate, like you were saying, the friendship and everything is reciprocal, man. Appreciate your time and DMs and everything we chat about, and your perspective on things. So much love to you, man, and hopefully we'll chat again soon here on this channel. Yes. And I'm sure we'll chat in DMs. And yo, everybody that's been watching the show for the last 2 hours, much love to you guys, man. Love the support.
Yes, and follow follow Reaper, follow Rob. The Twitter account is in the it's pinned on top of the chat. Click on the follow button. He has now like 13 followers. We need, if you want Rob to give you some advice about trading, put this guy's like famous. We need some famosity.
I need to work on that because I feel like being a member of Decoders, it's partially my responsibility. I need to get this done as well. So maybe I can start posting, posting feeds, and stuff like that on there about trading and everything.
Exactly, and bro, like my best tweet on my Digots bag, you just need to do that with your portfolio. So I lost I won. Okay, do both. But because the lost trades work too, like I lost 1 billion on this position, but that's okay. It's just one day. And then you say, oh yeah, I won 2 billions.
Yeah, people would like somebody asked me to fucking dox my account. I'm like, which one? I have like fucking 400. Like that's the problem. You get like I said, you got to be careful. I don't trust any of the banks.
Yeah. No,
don't trust anybody in Web3. Exactly. Rule number 1. And rule number 2, don't trust anybody in Web3.
Rule number 3, don't trust anybody in Web2 either.
No, it's a fine line for sure, but super appreciative of everybody's time. Like so Rob said it earlier, and I say it all the time. You know, time is more valuable than money. So giving us your time is more than giving us your money. So appreciate that, guys. I do have to run. I do have a few dogs in the other room that need my attention. But I am going to rock out. If you are not shut out the show, I might just drop out of it.
We are closing up. Again, thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Thank you, everyone on the Twitter space still here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jas. Great co-hosting. You basically the community lead of Decoders. It's official. It was already like known, but that's what you do now. Are you gone already? Okay. No,
I'm still here. I'm still moving. I'm frozen. No.
Trust Rob, yes. And again, Rob, thank you again. Just
absolutely much appreciated, guys.
Just
see you guys.
Okay, bye. Bye. Thank you so much. Where is it? It's here.